So, Mr. Kitano, I had a question. You're coming to the festival this year, like you said yourself, a movie about violence, a Yakuza movie, which is a genre that made you famous in France and Europe. And at the same time, in Paris, at the Foundation Cartier, there's also this exhibit that shows another side of you, the character of Beat Takeshi, that is also becoming more and more popular in France, and especially among young French people. So I'm a bit curious to know how you want to bring these two characters, and how you would like the French public, the French audience, to understand these two characters, or each of these characters. Thank you.
Well, many people ask me about how come one person can do the comedy and violent movies at the same time. And for me, it's both is very precious field of my entertainment activity. And I always refer to my activity as a swinging pendulum. If you have the 10 force of depicting violence, you have the energy to swing it back to the other way of 10 force of depicting love. And that goes the same with depicting violence and depicting humor, those two opposite things. And if you have the enough power for one end, you have the power and energy to swing it back to the other. That's how I consider my activities. And so I always conscious about the more I can think of the hideous depiction in movies, the more it enables me to come up with the funny scenes, and the more I can come up with a scene depicting hate, the more it enables me to depict love. But one of my worst nightmare is the pendulum becomes the swinging thing and just becomes disorientating. That would be my worst nightmare. But for me, I try to be curious about anything that enriches my many different endeavors.
I would like to ask to Mr. Kitano if he has ever been offered a movie in Hollywood or in Europe, and if he'd like to do a movie outside of Japan, and if there is any mythology or story, Western story, that he might like to tell. Thank you.
Well, I made my film called Brother in Los Angeles. I shot that movie in Los Angeles, but I don't know if you can call that a Hollywood movie or not. But if you define Hollywood movie as a film entirely spoken in English, I wouldn't be too much crazy about the idea, because I don't really speak English myself, so it's hard for me to tell whether the actor is doing the good performance or bad performance when the dialogue is in English. And in terms of the Western mythology or stories that I'm interested in, there must be numerous mythologies and interesting stories and novels in the Western world that might be very interesting to make it into cinema. But for me, I'm too caught up and busy with working on my own script, so it's hard for me to hunt for the other source of inspiration for my movie. And one of the other thing is that when you make a movie out of the famous novels or famous mythology, you always get the unfavorable reaction from the readers that the casting is so different from the way they imagine from reading the book. So many of the cinematization of the famous novel ended up disappointing the readers. So I'm not too interested in the idea.
Merci à tous. Malheureusement, c'est la fin de... Remercions. Domo arigato.